Good morning. This is X-Pulse AI Morning Mix. It's Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. Today, OpenAI's startling proposal in Washington, Meta eyeing a cloud business, a huge open-source infrastructure raise, and a $1 trillion Korea infrastructure blitz. Orion's here, ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
CNBC, citing the Financial Times on July 2nd, reports OpenAI offered the U.S. government a 5% ownership stake. What do we know?
The report says the idea was pitched as a way to ease political pressure around concentration of AI power. At OpenAI's reported $852 billion valuation, 5% is roughly $42.6 billion. There's no announced agreement, just a proposal.
If it happened, what gets complicated fast?
Governance and legality. A government equity stake raises questions about oversight, procurement favoritism, and what national interest means for a frontier model roadmap. It could also set a precedent. Other labs might be asked to offer similar access or face tougher regulation. It's a very Washington solution.
TechCrunch, reporting on Bloomberg on July 1st, says Meta is building Meta Compute to sell excess AI capacity and hosted models. What's the plan?
2 tracks per the reporting. One is selling raw GPU capacity, like the neoclouds. The other is hosted access to Meta's Muse Spark models, more like Amazon Bedrock. The subtext is monetizing data center capacity and turning internal infrastructure into a revenue line.
Does Meta realistically compete with AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure?
Not overnight, but it doesn't have to. If Meta prices aggressively and bundles model access with compute, it can attract teams that want an alternative to the big three, especially for training and batch inference. Also, a lot of cloud is just trust plus supply. Meta has supply. Trust is the harder part.
The New York Times reported on July 1st that Together AI raised $800 million at an $8.3 billion valuation. Big number, what's the news?
The round is explicitly about scaling compute capacity and infrastructure for open source models. It's a bet that enterprises want lower cost, more controllable alternatives to closed model stacks, and that the picks and shovels layer for open models can become a massive business.
Quickly, what does Together AI actually do day to day?
They operate an AI cloud focused on serving and training popular open models, plus tooling around deployment, fine-tuning, and performance. Think, helping companies run open models in production without becoming their own infrastructure team. It's like buying the kitchen, not just the recipe.
Yahoo Finance on June 30th says South Korea announced more than $1 trillion in semiconductor and AI data center investments. What are the headline numbers?
Samsung and SK Hynix are tied to roughly $518 billion for new semiconductor fabs. Then SK Group, GS Group, and Naver are linked to about $356 billion toward AI data center projects. It's a national-scale build the supply chain statement.
What changes if they execute on that?
It tightens the loop between chip manufacturing and local compute buildout. If you can fab more advanced memory and packaging at home while scaling data centers, you reduce bottlenecks and gain leverage in global AI supply negotiations. Also, $1 trillion makes my budget spreadsheet cry.
The Straits Times on July 1st points to U.S. payroll data. Financial activities and information sectors down an average of 28,000 jobs per month in 2026, tied to faster AI adoption. What's the read?
The key is concentration. Broader U.S. employment can be fine, while specific sectors where work is text-heavy, process-heavy, and automatable shrink. AI doesn't have to replace everyone to cause real churn. It just needs to compress a few common job families in a few big industries.
So is this all layoffs and doom or more nuanced?
More nuanced. Some roles are eliminated, but others are created, especially where firms rebuild workflows around AI. The net effect depends on how quickly companies reinvest productivity gains into growth. The data's pointing to disruption first, reabsorption later, if it happens.
Before we go, a few fast movers across silicon, regulation, and the increasingly weird world of renting supercomputers. Orion, hit us.
On July 1st, Yahoo Finance says Broadcom posted $22.187 billion in revenue, with AI semiconductor sales about $10.8 billion, up 143% year over year, showing the custom chip race with NVIDIA is very real.
Staying with infrastructure, anything on data center sustainability?
Yes. Times of India on July 2nd reports NVIDIA unveiled a liquid cooling system aimed at reducing data center water use, though experts cautioned about real-world trade-offs and complexity. It's a reminder that efficient depends on the whole facility, not just one component.
And on policy and deal-making, what should listeners clock?
Tech Times on July 1st says Colorado replaced earlier AI accountability duties with a disclosure-focused law, plus a separate Chatbot Safety Act for minors effective January 1st, 2027. Also, PC Mag on July 1st says Anthropic signed a deal to use xAI's Memphis Colossus 1 supercomputer. Compute leasing is becoming a real market. Finimize on July 1st says SoftBank is seeking a $10 billion loan backed by its OpenAI stake. And 9to5Mac, citing the Wall Street Journal on July 1st, says SpaceX is prototyping slim AI hardware. Finally, SiliconANGLE on July 1st says Aligned raised $60 million, an AI-native sales execution layer. An American banker on June 30th notes heavy AI spenders are often hiring more, not less.
That's XPulse AI Morning Mix for Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. If it helped, share it with a colleague who lives in tabs. See you next time.